Shalom everybody, welcome back to Breslov.org. We're here by the holy graves of the Sanhedrin, the Holy Sanhedrin here in Jerusalem. From the Second Temple you can see the Roman architecture on the arch there, unbelievable, in Sanhedria. Rabbi Nachman, in lesson 19, he goes very much in the concept of a person reaching sanctification and purification. He says the secret to sanctity and purity involves that a person sanctify the interface mode. In other words, to rectify and bring close to holiness a domain which is in between the impure, the realm of impure, and the realm of pure. He calls that Lashon Targum, the language of Aramaic. Because Aramaic is an interesting language. It's half holy and half unholy. It has qualities of the languages of the nations, but also has qualities of Judaism, of Torah, of Hebrew, of holiness. So it's an interface mode which has half good, half evil. He compares Rabbi Nachman to the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And Rabbi Nachman teaches for a Jew to reach complete holiness, which will be reflected in his speech, that when a person, Rabbi Nachman teaches many places, that to be able to really dive into God, you have to have a lot of personal purity, holiness. That's the key, that's the prerequisite for davening. But he also says elsewhere that in order to come to purity, to personal purity, you need to daven. So A leads to B, B leads to A. But in this lesson 19, he teaches us how a person can come to prayer. It's through first what's called rectifying the brit, that he has sexual purity, he guards the covenant. So Rabbi Nachman teaches an amazing advice to help a person to work on his personal purity in order to reach that stepping stone to come to connection in God through prayer. He teaches through the mitzvah, the obligation, believe it or not, of going over the parasha every week. There's a mitzvah, there's a halacha, there's a Torah law that every man, every Jewish man, preferably, ideally on Friday morning, Friday afternoon, whatever, there's different opinions, to go over each verse, to recite every verse of the parasha twice in Hebrew, in the actual language that it's written in the actual Torah, in the Torah scroll, and once in Aramaic. It's called Shnai Mikra Ve'echad Targum. He teaches Rabbi Nachman by doing so, you connect the Targum, the Aramaic, which has its presence in the world, and in the parsha of the week, what's happening all over the world is reflected in the parsha of the week. So by reciting the Targum of this week's parsha, and you recite it after reciting the verse twice in Hebrew, so in that, by doing that procedure, twice in Hebrew, once in Aramaic, you're joining the Aramaic to the side of holiness. And this Rabbi Nachman teaches is how one comes to complete holy tongue, and this is the stepping stone for also purity of the covenant.